Bill Beck, the future Olympic record setter, learned from his father how to live a life dedicated to skiing. After building a hill out of wooden orange crates in their yard in West Kingston, Rhode Island, and setting up a rope tow and a ski jump, Bill Sr. started taking his son with him on weekend trips to Vermont and New Hampshire.
Being a football and baseball coach, he could pretty well organize his schedule so he'd get a long weekend. I was out of school more than I was in school at times. You know, he'd probably take me out of school every Friday, and sometimes I wouldn't get home till Monday. And also, it was my first introduction to driving. After skiing on a Sunday, he'd have a couple of cocktails with his friends, and then we'd head for Rhode Island. And he'd fall asleep driving, and I initially could put my foot on the accelerator. I couldn't reach the brakes or the gear shift. And he'd scooch way over in the side of the car, and I'd steer and run the gas pedal. And when I got to a red light, I'd bump him on the knee and say, "Wake up, we got a red light coming." That was kind of my introduction to skiing.
Bill was not just a skier. He played football and baseball as well. And while he played for a Boston-supported summer league team, skiing always took precedence. Without any coaching, but lots of time on skis and a natural ability, Bill won the New England Interscholastic Downhill Championships in 1946 and 47. After spending 18 months in the Army, Bill matriculated at Dartmouth. He and his Dartmouth teammate, Chika Gaya, tied for victory at the 1955 North American Downhill Championships. After graduating, he worked for International Paper, who gave him time off during the winter to coach the Dartmouth ski team. In 1958, at the National Intercollegiates, his Dartmouth skiers were 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the downhill. This success led to his invitation to coach the 1960 Olympic team. But Bill's own success spoke for itself. Bill Beck was a member of the national ski team from 1951 to 1957. His 5th place finish in the downhill at the 1952 Olympic Games was the best ever by an American male skier and stood for 32 years until Bill Johnson broke through for a gold medal in the downhill in 1984. Bill also finished 5th in 1952 at the prestigious Arlberg-Kandahar Downhill, again a best ever by an American skier.
Later that year, before the World Cup circuit developed, the biggest race of the year in Europe was the Arlberg-Kandahar, and I got a 5th in the downhill in the Kandahar. And it was interesting that Hannes Schneider, who is the head ski pro, an old Swiss or Austrian, I guess, my dad was teaching at Cranmore at the time. And after I got a 5th in the Olympics, Hannes said nothing to my dad. After I got a 5th in the AK, he said, "Great, boy, that's an accomplishment," because in the AK there were probably 6 or 8 or 10 Austrians, the Austrians being the top of the heap at those days, whereas in the Olympics only 4 Austrians. So the competition was really much tougher. So, and that impressed him. So.
Beck made the 1954 World Championship team and also captained the 1956 Olympic team. His Olympic career continued to 1980, when he worked as a section chief for the men's downhill at Lake Placid. Beck and his teammate Vern Goodwin decided to ride the ski wave that started after the 1960 Olympics.
Right after the Olympics, I teamed up with Vern Goodwin, who had been my roommate on the Olympic team. And we started retail stores in Rutland, and then the next year in Middlebury, retail ski shops, which we lasted 7 years and ended up selling those. And in the meantime, we'd been developing a ski representative firm. We worked in that capacity for several years, and then the Garcia Corporation decided to get into, they're the old fishing tackle people, decided to get into skiing. So they recruited us to run their ski operation. And we did that for 5 years, a 5-year management contract. And then the company was going straight downhill. They fired us, and that's how I got into real estate.
Beck made his home in Middlebury, Vermont, and was later joined by his father. Beck's commitment to Vermont and to promoting skiing through athletic achievement, coaching, and industry support make him an ideal member of the Vermont Ski Museum Hall of Fame. Welcome, Bill Beck.